All right, we are back from the interview now. And yeah, that was great. What did you think of Patty and everything she had to say?
There is a wisdom about Patty that she will not be the person that's going to rush to the microphone, rush to the front of the room. But she is a longtime educator, as a longtime member here at Chapelwood. She's looking for those spaces and ways that she can embody grace all around the fringes. And so she's just, she's so wise. And there's been a perseverance to this calling that she has.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought wise is exactly how I would describe it. She said many things at many times that, like, I was sitting and go, wow, that was really well said. And it got me thinking, and I was like, I was almost like an out-of-body thing where I forgot we were here, and I was really thinking on those words. And I loved her little thing she said at the end about just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something.
Yeah, that was golden.
And I think it embodies the idea of quality over quantity, right? Like, I think there are so many opportunities nowadays to go and volunteer, to mentor, just get involved. And I think a lot of people could say, okay, I'm just going to do a little bit of everything, right? And where in reality, it's like, no, you should find what you're passionate about. Find that 1-2 things that you really, like, that's what you want to do, and really give yourself to that.
Yeah. I can remember as a young adult in Houston, I was trying to figure out, like, where I would volunteer. And so my first attempt was coaching a 6th grade girls basketball team through Kingdom Basketball.
Awesome.
Because I love basketball.
Yeah.
I love kids, and I just thought it would be a great match. And I was terrible. So I coached for 1 season. You got to stick with it. And I think I breathed a sigh of relief. The parents breathed a sigh of relief. And then you give yourself permission, to try things out. And at Chapelwood, we really are blessed. There's so many different avenues. And like Patty said, in mentoring, it's not just to high school students. We've got folks that read to pre-K students or go and help out at the elementary school. So a lot of opportunities. Just find the one.
Yes. No, definitely. Find the one and, get involved. And just because you try something doesn't mean you're gonna.
That's
it's
right.
gonna
You don't
work
have to
out.
stick with it.
And so, it is. There's definitely a trying mechanism there of you're not gonna know until you go out and you actually try it, which is cool. So, kind of moving on. We like to do in the outro a little world update, as we call it, where we talk about something happening in the world that we maybe don't know how to respond to, or what's the right way to respond to this, both as Christians and just as people. And so what we're going to talk about today is the coronavirus. I feel like I listen to a lot of news podcasts whenever I drive to and from work. And so I feel like this entire week, every single one I've listened to in some form or fashion has been about this.
Yeah, for sure.
And it is the hot thing to be talking about right now. And so I wanted to kind of throw some facts. And whenever y'all listen to this, these facts are probably going to have changed because, this thing is sadly growing. And so let me pull out my little thing real quick. So the more I think about, I'm not going to actually say numbers, but I'm going to talk about what's happening more and what I've heard and read about. So essentially, like this morning or yesterday, there's this one area of China that decided that their testing equipment for the disease is not working or as efficient as they thought. And so they've decided that that new way that they're going to test to see is if you have the symptoms, we're going to go ahead and say you have it. Because they figured that a lot of people who have the symptoms and then their testing says they don't actually have it, and it's just the testing's messing up there. So in the one area of China, one province of China, I can't remember its name, that did this, they grew, their number of infected grew 9 times in one day because of that.
Wow.
And so now China's dealing with this thought of, do we do that across the board? I think there's at this point, over 60,000 cases in the world, and there's over 1,000 dead. So as we hear this stuff, what's that response from us? I think obviously we go to prayer. Like a lot of people are like, oh, we'll pray for that. We'll pray for what's happening. And I feel like at times that comes off as not personal. It's just like our default answer, right? Like it's like, oh, I'll be praying for that. But do we actually pray for that, or are we just saying that? Or like what does that look like? So I guess what I'd like to discuss a little bit is what does that look like for us to actually pray and to actually follow that up, rather than just letting those be words that we say to people.
Yeah. The magnitude of the coronavirus and the understandable fear that it creates, the stress on systems, whether it's the healthcare system, like you were saying, that we don't even know if our testing is giving us the accurate results, the stress on a government system. I mean, heck, the stress on cruise lines.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not like page 27, what to do with coronavirus on the Royal Caribbean. But so I think sometimes prayer is just, it can be the default answer. And so on one hand, it is to educate ourselves, and so that our prayers, not that we're praying things God doesn't already know, but that our prayers really begin to think about the way that Jesus instructed us to pray, which is that the kingdom would come on earth as it is in heaven, and that people would have daily bread. And so what does that mean in this particular crisis? And so I there is power in prayer. And I think about, I don't know if this is on topic or not, Evan, but the way the church survived in China when it was essentially driven out, people were literally executed for their faith if they had a Bible. But this underground movement in China all throughout the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. And so there's this incredible prayer network in China. Yeah. And so just as you were saying that, I was thinking, man, I'm challenged to pray for the church in China, that they would know how to respond, because these are literally their neighbors.
Yeah. Well, and I think to kind of your point too is like God works through miraculous ways, and we pray that God's kingdom be brought. And I think God, because he's God, is able to take what is very dark situations and very awful situations, but use them to glorify his name and to bring his kingdom. So as you're saying that, I think about, man, what opportunities this is opening up for the church in China, that as they're kind of dealing with this crisis, are the local Christians there that are underground able to step in and really love on those people that are going through these hard times? So and maybe that's, and like you said, that's what we should be praying for, is that, as this is, it's spread outside of China and there's other cases, but it's really just China right now that's super affected by it. I think that is more of a specific guided prayer that we can be praying for, which would be neat.
Yeah, for sure. And, prayer always, too, draws us, more into the heart of God. And the heart of God is broken for the people and the systems that are experiencing injustice. And so a disease like this, really reveals the ways people have experienced injustice or have been marginalized or don't have access to, whatever it may be. Prayer should always then kind of ignite this fire within us to be people of mercy and of justice.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so moving to the next part of the outro, do you want to give us kind of our call to action for this episode? Just wherever.
Yeah, I think Patty gave it. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should. And man, that's what really stuck with me. And Patty, so my call to action would be to really look at what season of life, what stage of life you're in right now. And if you've had this sense of, I feel like I should be doing more, I should be volunteering, or I should be expressing generosity in some new way, I think Patty's advice of begin with the day, begin with where your feet are right now.
Yeah.
But then also do a little bit of an inventory. What are the roles I currently have to do? If you're taking care of aging parents, now may not be the time to take on Collegiate Challenge. I mean, really, your place of serving and of giving yourself. If you're a mom of young kids, if you're a dad of young kids, if you're in a brand new job, then your place of calling and vocation may be to that. So kind of assess where you are, but then just because you can do it doesn't always mean you should.
Yeah, I think that's a great reflection for people to go through and to look at their own life and evaluate that. So yeah, listener, go and do that. Go evaluate yourself. As we wrap up, we want to talk about our first giveaway we're doing. We have a $25 Amazon gift card. I don't have it on me, but we're going to be giving away. And so the way that you get entered into the giveaway is on some social media platform. Share the podcast. It can be any episode. It doesn't have to specifically be this one. Share any episode and share what you kind of learned from that episode. You also have to be a subscriber, so make sure you're subscribed, whether that's on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, whatever it is. Be subscribed and then share it on social media. It can be Facebook, Instagram. Tag us, because we need to see it. You can post it, and if we don't see it, you're not going to be in it.
You're not going to be watching the accounts of all your subscribers.
If you're on Instagram, tag at Chapelwood _UMC_serving. And if you're on Facebook, tag at CUMC Missions. So, enter in. We're excited to hear that from y'all. And yeah, like we said too, go subscribe, go like, share this with your friends. Hopefully this whole experience is helping you grow in your walk and grow and see how God might be calling you and what your whys in life might be. So go and find that why, people.
Awesome. It's been a blast.
Yeah. Howdy, and thanks for watching. Please leave a like and comment on this video. And if you aren't subscribed already to the Your Why channel, go ahead and subscribe. Also, don't forget to turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. If anything during the video piqued your interest, go ahead and check out the descriptions in the link below. Go and find your why, people.